So welcome to this tutorial, and in the past tutorial we created all the methods for our country to return certain default functions or default interfaces. But before we create our views, we're supposed to create a countries folder. As you can see, every of our model that the user has to see will have a folder here with files inside it. This is what the user sees, the files here. Alright, so but before then we need to create routes. What does the user have to visit to be able to see the add page? Which URL do they have to visit to be able to view a country, and so on and so forth. So to do that, we go to the route folder. You know where the route folder is. So if this is our raw PHP file, and the route folder is here, and it has a route file, so we click on routes.php. So that's where we see all the routes that we already have. So what we're going to do is just to duplicate one of them, which is the posts, and use it for country. Like I taught you in the beginning of this video, or this video tutorial series, about how these routes are related. So it will help you to understand what we need to accomplish here. So what we're looking for is, first of all the occurrences of posts as a small letter. We replace it with countries. So we have countries. So we'll copy. We will paste. So just be careful while doing this, so that you don't replace the capital letters instead. So we have all this sorted out. So we go to this side, the names. We can say everything here. That's sorted out. We now replace this with the countries controller. So we have countries controller. So I'm going to copy the countries controller, Ctrl C on my keyboard, and use it to replace every occurrence of post controller, and of course I'm going to replace this with countries. Alright, if you don't understand why we didn't replace this, that means you need to get back to our third video in the whole course series. The reason you need to get back to it is that this maps post and get request. So it's not about the post model or controller. This is about the request type. There's post request, there's get request, there's path, push, delete, and so on and so forth. So majorly in this course, we're just making use of two types of request, post and get. For instance, this one about delete would have been a delete request if you want. So depending on what you want, how you want to design your app, you can just make the delete to be a delete request. All right. So now we have this sorted out. We are now sure that if somebody visits countries index, we don't need this. If somebody visits countries index, it will take them to index method in the controller, the countries controller. So let's see what is an index method of the countries controller. This is the countries controller, this is the index method, and what it basically does is find all the countries, a list of all the countries. Okay, so if someone visits countries/add, your website.com/countries/add, it will open up countries. It will open up countries and the add method in the controller. So if we go to the add method, we will see inside the add method what it does is it outputs all your a page where it outputs a page where you can add a new country and handles the country request. Now there's something I want you to observe here, that this is supposed to be if the request is post, not is country. So when we're replacing this, country replaced a very important something that we need here. So we're basically checking if the request is post. Okay, so that was accidental. So what we're doing here is basically what this function is doing is check if the request is a post request. Maybe somebody has already clicked on the submit button. So if somebody clicked on the submit button, what you should do is execute whatever code that's inside here, which is basically validate that the title is not empty and the body is not empty. Well, we don't need body in posts. We'll get back to all these minor editings later on, but I just wanted to show you what it does. Then after that, if the validation failed, you redirect back, and then if not, we save it in the database. These are not the fields we have in our database. We basically have name, country name, and code. So we'll treat it in the next video. But I'm just showing you what the route does. Okay, so the route basically handles all these minor editings. In the next video, we'll create the view, then we'll come back to the controller to make sure that each of our methods are working perfectly. All right, see you in the next video.